Talking with the experts.
Videos are great. Doing Facebook Lives, absolutely great. I don't do a lot of it in my marketing. I am probably an example of how, if you're not comfortable doing it, and I am comfortable doing it, I'm probably just so much more busier that for me, it's just easy just to get out and put content out there without having to go and do a video. For me, it's a case of video does need to be in there, but if you don't want to do video, sometimes it's better for you not to do videos. There's a lot of people that I work with that I say to them, they're not quite there yet. And if they're not confident in doing it, it can actually damage their brand. So for those people, I say, just because other people are doing it doesn't mean you need to be doing it. It's probably better for you to do still videos first, gain confidence and get it, then do it. But at the end of the day, a lot of people go to videos and they give it all away. They don't really know what to say. And that's because they don't have a strategy.
Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com, and Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners, and you can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today it's my very great pleasure to introduce you to Chantal Gerardy. Now, Chantal's been on before, but her business has just gone miles and miles and miles ahead of where she even thought it was going to be last year. So we thought we'd have a little bit more of a chat again, because she's a bit more she's changed the focus of her business. She's now an online business strategist. And she actually comes from South Africa, so don't mind the accent. It's all good. She didn't know anyone when she got here, and she didn't have any marketing budget to start or any startup capital. And so she taught herself how to use Facebook, like most of us have had to do. But she began to specialize in coaching our Facebook marketing about 5 years ago. And using what she learnt and having now finished her diploma in social media marketing, she can now teach business owners how to get clients, create opportunities, and grow their business using organic social media and email marketing strategies and not having to pay for ads. Now, her tagline is, "The only BS you need in your online business is a business strategy." And she is an award winner. She's, and my great friend. So welcome, Chantal, and thanks for joining me yet again.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so tell me why the change in business, from being a marketing specialist to an online business strategist.
Yeah, well, look, there's some things that don't change. And the one thing that doesn't change is that I'm completely passionate about business owners being able to manage their own marketing without paying for advertising. When I first started out myself, I was non-techie, hyperactive, not an online person at all. I don't like being online at all, but there was nothing else I could do besides teach myself how to do it properly, because I needed to grow my business and I needed it to work. And I didn't have startup capital, and I had to get money. Like, I had to make money to feed my family. And that was what I was passionate about. So Facebook was my primary platform. That was the platform I went to. That is where I found my audience and found my niche. And I specialized in Facebook for probably about 4 years. And it still is my primary platform now. But what I noticed during COVID, whenever anybody had an issue on Facebook, because the use of Facebook went up by something like 60% during COVID. Whenever there was an issue with Facebook, because I was known as the Facebook so-called guru, and because people couldn't talk to Facebook, they would call me and go, "My Facebook's doing this or my Facebook's doing that, and please, can you fix it?" And I'm like, "No, that's the last thing." Well, firstly, I can't, because I'm not actually Facebook. And secondly, the reason it's not actually, the reason you got yourself into this trouble in the first place was because you simply didn't have the skills, the strategy, or the systems to be able to do it. So when COVID happened, and after getting my social media marketing diploma, I went, you know what, this is absolutely ridiculous. I am on other platforms. Why is this happening? What is the issue that people are having? And I was like, what is all this BS that they've got in there? All this bullshit that they've got inside their business. And it really is that they just didn't have like an online business strategy. And that was the problem. The problem is that, you know, they're posting, they're doing all these things, but they're not doing it properly. They're not doing it effectively, and they're not doing it strategically. So it's not effective at all. And that's probably why I dropped Facebook, and there are a couple of blogs about that as well. Well, I ditched Facebook, but I haven't really, because Facebook still is my primary platform, and you know, my audience is on Facebook. I still don't do any paid advertising in my business at all, and I've been able to go from absolutely broke and knowing no one in a saturated industry to a six-figure business, which is now a social media agency, all without paying for ads, all by getting rid of the BS in my business and focusing on a business strategy and developing my skills, having income producing strategies, so not just visibility strategies, but also systems in place. So for example, when I went away last week camping, I came back and my business is still rolling over, my social media is still happening, leads are still coming in, and everything's still working well.
Yeah, so I guess for people who don't have the strategies in place, where can they start? What's the first things, you know, step by step that they need to do to, you know, get these strategies in place? And what are the strategies?
Yeah, so the strategy is, well, what a strategy is, it comes down to a customer's journey. Okay, so when it comes to social media, it's all about going out and you yourself, your tone, your voice, getting people to know, like, and trust you. Okay, and we do that by effectively communicating what it is that we do and what we're offering through our content and how we use those platforms. Now, where people go wrong is they just go onto the platform and they just spit stuff out. And they hear from everyone else that they must just give it all away for free. And unfortunately, no one will ever buy anything. And the other problem we have is people think that they're using the platforms correctly and they're really not. So that's another story. What you also hear all the time is that, oh yeah, simply outsource it. And I had a massive conversation this morning online with a couple of people about, I never outsourced anything until I was a six-figure business. So people really do need to be investing in themselves. And if you look at Walt Disney, and if you look at Richard Branson, if you look at Mark Zuckerberg, no, none of them were outsourcing. They were all learning. They were all digging their heels in the trenches and learning how to do these things. I think all too easily people are wanting to outsource rather than invest in themselves. But so when it comes to the strategy, firstly, don't do those things. But when it comes to the strategy, it always starts with the end in mind. And the end in mind is money. So when someone goes, I'm doing a podcast because I want visibility, I go, no, you're not. You're doing a podcast because you want clients, but you want clients because you want money, right? That is actually the strategy. And, you know, when I first started out, I had absolutely no startup capital. I was not on Centrelink, which is welfare, because I couldn't get it because I wasn't a resident. So I had no choice. I had to actually make money. And I always say to everyone, I'm so grateful for that process. And a lot of my clients often say, oh, I wish I didn't have Centrelink to fall back on because maybe I'd have the same drive or discipline. But strategies all start with the end in mind. So if you have a look at how much money do you need to make? So, you know, if it's $500, if it's $1,000 a week, you've got to make $1,000 a week. What is it that you absolutely love to do? Like, what is it that you love to do that if you're in your genius zone, you're absolutely happy and people love that about you? Like, what are those things? And when you become clear on those things, well, what is a package that you could put together, a desirable offer? And I cannot stress this enough. It has to be desirable. It can't just be desirable for you. And a lot of people go wrong with this. They hear, oh, I must do an online course because I don't want to work with people. I just want people to buy my stuff online. I'm just going to sell 1,000 online programs and I'm going to be so rich and live happily ever after. Well, not everyone's going to do that because some people don't learn through online programs, right? So it has to be a desirable offer, not just what you hear everyone else is doing or thinking. It's got to be desirable for you. It has to be desirable for someone who is prepared to pay you for that. And this is so incredibly important because people have often got really good stuff, but they don't know who's prepared to pay for it. And they're marketing to people who are actually never going to hand over money. People who are never ever going to hand over money, and they keep giving it all away for free, like the hooker on Side Street, you know. So So you've got to look at what do you love doing, packaging it, but then who are those people that are actually prepared to pay you for that desirable offer? Go and do a competitors analysis. I cannot stress this enough. Go online, stalk what other people are doing who are doing it well, and don't copy them, but do it better. The next thing you do is you go and do a customer survey. So go and ask some of those people who've worked with you before, some of your previous clients, current clients, or even your prospects, and go and survey them and see whether or not they're actually interested in what it is that you're offering and get their feedback. Because what you think might be desirable may not be desirable to them at all. So once you've worked out all of that, you worked out your audiences, and they prepared to, you've worked out your pricing and they prepared to pay for it, and you've worked out your desirable offer. The next thing is you've got to decide how you're going to effectively communicate it. So you've got to know how to effectively communicate it, which is so important because so many people are fluffy, they are general, they are not specific enough, and they don't follow post practice, and they never have a call to action. And a call to action doesn't need to be a hard sell, but people have got to know what the next logical step is for you and for them, or they will never take that step. They will keep scrolling past you. And when you're looking for fast and free results and you're looking for the algorithm to work, you need people to take action straight away. You cannot go and hope that they're going to come up in front of your feed again. So that's effective communication. The next part of that would be you've got to respect the platforms. When you're on Instagram, it's a certain audience. There's a certain way to use that platform. There's your audience reacts and moves in a certain way. Your customer journey is going to be different. It needs to be logical to the platform, to your audience, and your content's got to fit in with that. And some people just don't know that. They go and they do cookie cutter across platforms, and whatever they do on Facebook, they'll do it on Instagram and cross their fingers and hope it's going to work. But it doesn't. So for me, I still spend, 80% of my time on Facebook and 20% on the other platforms, making sure that I've got branding consistency on there, but I do it for brand awareness, which is to support me on my primary platform, which is Facebook. And Facebook works so well for me. Why would I go anywhere else? I don't need to, So with strategy always starts with the end in mind. And I think that it's really important for people to go through that process of that, that desirable offer, competitors analysis, customer surveying, effective communication, and then understanding actually how to use those platforms and not just being general or non-specific. It does not work. And probably a business strategy is if you are doing something and you've been doing it for 4 weeks and it's not working, stop doing it. It's not working. Stop doing it. It's not working. Stop doing it. It's not working. And if you are saying, oh, I got an extra follower and I got an extra like and I got an extra engagement, it's not working. If you're not getting leads or inquiries, it's not working. So, stop being so egocentric. It needs to be, it's only working if you're actually generating leads and inquiries. That is an income producing strategy. And if you are online all the time and you're spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and you're not getting a return on investment and your time is your investment, it is not working. It is not working. Stop doing it and do something else.
Now, I've just recently put my podcast on TikTok, and we've already got quite a bit of engagement on, quite a bit of views. It's only been on 2 or 3 days, and I mean, it's only like about 200 views, but it's better than what I'm getting on Facebook. So, people are obviously interested in it because it's a video platform, and video is definitely the new flavour of the month, and has been for a while. But since COVID, it's gained momentum. So how can people use that strategy in their marketing?
Do you mean videos?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so look, to tell you the truth, videos are great. Doing Facebook Lives, absolutely great. I don't do a lot of it in my marketing. I am probably an example of how if you're not comfortable doing it, and I am comfortable doing it, I'm probably just so much more busier that for me, it's just easy just to get out and put content out there without having to go and do a video. For me, it's a case of video does need to be in there, but if you don't want to do video, sometimes it's better for you not to do videos. There's a lot of people that I work with that I say to them, they're not quite there yet. And if they're not confident in doing it, it can actually damage their brand. So for those people, I say, just because other people are doing it doesn't mean you need to be doing it. It's probably better for you to do still videos first, gain confidence and get it, then do it. But at the end of the day, a lot of people go to videos and they give it all away. They don't really know what to say. And that's because they don't have a strategy. If you had the strategy and you had the content plan, you knew how to effectively communicate what it is that you're doing, you had a customer journey or funnel to generate leads, then you would put your video marketing into that. And that call to action is vitally important. As I said, if people don't know what the next step is, they will scroll right past you. So we do constantly have to say, follow, subscribe, download my free resource, jump onto my website, book a call, email me. And we you know, and people go, I don't want to bother people. You're not bothering people. If someone's interested in your service, you're making it easy for them to actually take the next step.
Yeah,
and so
I agree.
many leads are lost because of that. But I just want to say, yes, videos are great. Yes, you should be doing videos. We've just created a checklist, a video checklist of all the different platforms and all the different lengths of videos for every single platform, and then the preferred place to schedule it. It changes all the time. So I'd say make sure that you have subscribed to my website. So when we send it out, that everyone will get it. And we will update it and send it out again, because there's 15-second videos, 20-second videos, 30-second videos, 1-minute videos, 2-minute videos, 2-minute 20 videos, 3-minute videos, 15 minutes. And it means you've got a video, and it's like you've got to make all these videos. So yes, I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to that. I'll probably just go onto Canva and quickly whip up a quick GIF, and I'm happy with that. So
yeah, I'm a bit the same. Even though I'm like really confident on the podcast, trying to do a Facebook Live, I don't know. I just get all the ums and ahs. Even if I've made myself a checklist, it just, I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. It's a mental block I think I have that just don't know.
everyone will know me as an 11-ummer. So
Yes.
everyone will know me as an 11-ummer. I used to go through and I used to go and then one day I woke up and I said to myself, I don't care anymore. I know that the stuff in between those ums is valuable and they're actually going to help someone. So I'm just going to do it, and I don't care. And eventually, you know, those ums did become fewer and far between. You know, I talk very fast. I've got a very fast brain that works. So sometimes just break that up for me. But, you know, sometimes I think that thinking about what other people think can really hold you back. So for me, it's a case of, if I've got something really important to say, I will do a video, I will do a live. But if it's easier for me, I will just go on and I'll just create it in dot point and I'll just do it in the written text. There is a strategy for everyone. For those who want to do lives, for those who don't want to do lives, for those who want to do video marketing, for those who don't. Especially, for example, my tradies, some of them don't want to be in the videos. And I just say to them, well, you know, video the flushing toilet, video the broken pipe, video the ants crawling outside or termites. You don't even need to feature inside it, because there are a lot of people who don't want to feature inside videos, and that's okay. So there is a strategy for those who do want to be forefront in their branding. There's a strategy for those who want to use their personal profiles as public profiles, but there are also strategies for, I've got lawyers, psychologists, doctors, I've got some people in politics, and they don't want to be featured they want their personal profiles completely private. They don't want to be their personal branding. So there is a strategy for everyone. Don't think that you're doomed. You just need to find the strategy that works for you and works for your audience.
That's terrific advice. It's definitely, yeah, do what you're comfortable with, I think is the main thing that you need to do. Now, I know you've got a few courses, Chantal. So do you want to just elaborate on those a little bit?
Yeah, look, my most popular program is obviously my one-to-one programs. I'm one of the few coaches that still work one-on-one, and I love it. So for as long as I can continue to do it, I will. So I've got an 8-week program which focuses on one sort of income producing strategy, going in and auditing everything and just sorting it out and getting one, as I said, income producing strategy working, which is an 8-week program. And then I've got a 20-week program, which is more for small to medium-sized businesses where they've got multiple funnels. They've got, emails, multiple platforms. They might have a podcast. They've got a blog going, maybe products and services. Usually they've got a team, and I'll go and I'll train the wife, or I'll train whatever team they've got on board. A lot of the time they've got, they may have someone doing the Instagram, someone doing the Facebook, someone doing the emails. They've actually got people in-house that are doing it, but everybody's running in different directions. So they're not doing it the most effectively. So I've got those 2 one-on-one programs. And from there, those programs are then obviously online. I often run group programs for that as well online. And then those programs are also as self-paced, do-it-yourself online programs too. Then I've also got, I've got so much. I've also got a weekly mastermind, which for $97 a month, people can join in. And, I had a lady today and she's like, Facebook keeps changing. And as soon as I learn something, it changes. And I'm like, yeah, that's why we've got the weekly mastermind, because every single week I show you what's changed and I show you how to adapt your strategy to do that. So if you're running an online business, the VIP mastermind weekly is the one. Like, that is the program for you to do. So yeah, so those are basically my programs in a nutshell.
Well, they're excellent programs too. I know I've done one of them. Twice I've done it. So yeah, because things just keep changing. Where can people find you, Chantal?
On my website, it's the best place to go, chantalgerardy.com.au. So you'll have to check the spelling for both. We have heaps of free resources on there. So there's a content calendar. I know we're busy working on the 2022 content calendar, and we send it out every year. So there's a content calendar. We've got checklists, for example, that video scheduling one, which we're going to send out shortly. So you want to make sure that you are on that website and you have subscribed.
Yeah, I thoroughly recommend get on her email list, because Chantal shares some absolutely wonderful tips and strategies to move your business forward. Chantal, I know you haven't written any books yet, and I know that you don't have a podcast. However, you are the most award nominated person I know at the moment. You've got all these awards, coming out of the ethos, and congratulations on your achievements. You've done so much in the last 5 years. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I am actually in the middle of writing a book at the moment. So there will be a do-it-yourself marketing book, which will hopefully be done by next year. And I do have a Facebook planner on Amazon. So not really a book, but it's more kind of a planner, which does take you through all those strategies and takes you through the processes that I do for myself in my business, but those processes that I take you through with my clients as well. And then with regards to podcasts, I do whatever's easy and cheeky. And I have just set up a podcast playlist on my YouTube channel. So if you go to the website and you click onto podcast, all my podcasts are on there. So this podcast will be added to my YouTube podcast and therefore gets uploaded directly to my website, which helps with organic traffic on Google. So I do whatever's cheap, free, and easy.
Blame you. That's how you make the dollars, I think. Chantal, thank you. Any last words of advice you'd like to give to our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, I think, there's so much information out there. And I think that if something's not working, change it. Insanity is doing the same thing again and again, expecting a different result. The other thing I love to share with people is, as soon as you can get used to the roller coaster ride of business, the better, because then you'll start to enjoy the ride a little bit more. Too many business owners, hear about this laptop lifestyle, hear about outsourcing. And for me, I really think that business owners should be investing in themselves. And before they do that, because they're actually setting them up for success rather than for failure. And I do believe that social media is all about your brand voice and outsourcing your brand voice. Russell Brunson says, the ClickFunnels dude, he says outsourcing your marketing is like outsourcing sex. So would you outsource your sex? I don't think so. So we'll end on that very sexy note.
Chantal, thank you so much for joining me again. enjoyed the conversation heaps, and yeah, good luck with the new award nomination.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bye bye for now.
Thank you.
Talking with the experts.